Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Daniel Percy and today I'm going to show you how to create your very own landscape art. You're going to be using a Photoshop and a Wacom Intuos tablet. Potentially another tablet. It's not really that important, just that. What is important is that you have something to draw on and something that has pressure sensitivity. That's the most important part. Alright, step 1, create a new file, a canvas really. Press new and you will come up with this little page and just copy my settings and you'll be good to go. You can name it Landscape Art with Daniel. Seems good. Fair enough. Alright. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to decide what kind of drawing you want to make, because the whole point of this tutorial is not that you're supposed to follow every step that I make and make, well, a similar painting to what I've done. You're supposed to learn my techniques and my way of coming up to, well, a decent result. And supposedly at the end of the tutorial you're going to be able to do the same thing yourself. Alright, so what I usually begin by doing is I begin by picking this one. Get a nice little bluish cyan coloring. Like that. That's good enough. Oh, actually a bit more. Yep, that. Gosh, I'm picky. Okay, that works. And then we'll do, pay attention to all of the tools that I'm using on the left side. The one which is highlighted or darkened is the one that I'm currently using. So if you can't keep up with the pace or you don't know the tools, try pausing the video, play around a little bit with the tools, and you'll most definitely come to terms with it. Alright, so this is what we are going to begin drawing on. In a short while at least. Alright, that works. So, we've got our new layer. We're not going to be painting on the background layer. We're going to be painting on layer number 1, which we just created. Alright. This thing, keep it pressed down, because without it, this is what it's going to look like. Rather dull, in my opinion. It's not going to look very nice. So keep that pressed down, and you're going to have much more interesting results. Also, press this little button, and if you do not have it, it is because you have the wrong Photoshop settings. What I'm going to be showing you is this. Click here, go down here, and click that one. Select that one. And your Photoshop is going to appear the exact same way as mine. Alright, so select layer number 1. You can use the round brush. It's not really, the brush isn't the important thing. The important thing is how you create. That's the thing. Alright, I'm gonna start with something dark. Begin right here. Just do some crazy little blobs, something. It's not really important. We just just trying to find some sort of composition within this blank canvas. Maybe we could do some crazy, I don't know, extraterrestrial planet kind of thing. That could be kind of cool. Maybe it's dark. Maybe the solar system doesn't have sun, or their sun is pretty weak. We could do something like that along those lines. Could prove fairly interesting. So let's see what we come up with. You can probably see that this is coming up a lot, this round circle. That is the color picker. So if you click Alt or hold down Alt, the pipette is going to come up, and if you click, you're going to choose whichever color you click, and the next time you draw, it's going to be that color. So if I choose this one, it's going to be like that. Choose this one, it's going to be like this. Alright. Just keep putting in some blobby shapes, and eventually you'll find something interesting within the image itself. Alright, so now if we look at the top hand right corner, you'll see a little miniature version of the canvas which we're painting on. This is really to help me well, look away from the details and just see the image as a whole, really. Because looking at details in the early stages of the painting is a bad thing to do, because you're not going to be focusing on the basics and the foundations of the image. You're going to be focusing on little things. And the little things really is something that's supposed to come later in the process. So we'll get there, but don't draw details just yet. Keep it big so far. And we actually don't really know what we're painting, so drawing details would be fairly pointless. So if you're drawing details on whichever type of landscape you chose to make, stop right now and just start doing these blobby shapes, like go like that. It's gonna turn out great. Something else that you may notice is that the closer I am, I get to the point of view, the darker the values get. So if this rock is still really close to us, it's going to be this color, and this, I don't know, mountain over here is going to be this color. And that's what's going to show us that something is close or far away. Okay, we've got some interesting structure thing going on here. But right now, we don't have a light source, and we have only one single color, which is pretty dull. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to go in here, change up the colors a bit. This is really interesting. This is going to appear as brown to the eye, but as you can see, it's actually blue. That's the thing with complementary colors and such here. If you study enough of them, you'll go absolutely mad, because colors strange, extremely strange, hard to understand, very hard to understand. Okay, let's bring it down a bit here. Okay, maybe we could imagine something, some kind of snow, something. So let's say that this is something's going to be going on over here, and something's going to be going on over here. Hopefully it'll prove rather interesting. Alright, the higher we go, the more I'm going to be going towards a true brownish color. Let's say that this is we got some sort of, actually no, let's not do that. Let's do, oh wow, it's too far back. Okay, let's do it like this. The lightning source is coming from this direction. It's coming like that. We're going to be adapting our newfound painting according to those things. So maybe like this, blah blah blah. And you got some lighting action going on over here. It's going to cast a shadow right here. So maybe it's going to be going up like that and that and that. You get some cool stuff going on over here. Okay, so we're mapping out the lighting. Okay, and we're going to be doing some little things here, just to add something. Actually, no, I got a much better idea. Let's do some going back here. Let's do some lighting things back here, and we'll keep it really dark over here, so we can add in maybe a character later into the drawing, which will really stand out from the much brighter background. Right, you can see how that is going to work. If I add some, you can maybe imagine some rocks going across here, getting really dark. It's going to get really light over here. We got our dark character popping up like that. It's going to stand out really nice. At this point, it's just blocking out shapes, understanding what you're actually drawing. Because at this point, trust me, I wish I knew what this was, but I do not. I do not. I think you should experiment a little bit with the range of colors and grayscales. So don't be too restrictive. Just go a little bit mental. You can see right here how it's clearly a shadow coming in, and that's a good thing. So you could steal some of those colors and grayscales and push those into this road right here a little bit. Make it look a tad bit more interesting. Okay. Said something about snow earlier, I think. Could add in a bit of that. Probably at on this little cliff right here could prove interesting to have some snow. That's going to be a bit. Just trying to find the right color for snow in a shadow. Yeah, that could work. That could work. Yeah, that's going to work great. Okay. It's getting a bit more interesting now. And some darker darks. Pushing this whole kind of small hill thing a little bit further, closer to the observer, making it a bit more interesting. We're gonna have to be careful now though, because we're pushing it a little bit too far, I think. Yeah, I think that's going to do it. It's too bright, I think. This is really supposed to be the focal point of the whole image. This right here, this structure, whatever it is. I haven't really like settled my mind on what it is yet, so I'm just doing some random blob things. Okay, as you can see, we're creating a tangent right here between the background and the focal points, and that's a bad thing, because this whole mountain thing here is going to steal attention from the focal point, and we don't want that, so I'm going to push it up a whole lot more. Right there, you can see how easily we changed the focal point again. So this focal point is now stronger than it was before. I've got a kind of cool idea with this, with these colors right here. Maybe we can do some sort of lava pits. That could be interesting. We can have like molten lava, like sort of flowing out a bit, maybe out of this mountain here and going down like this, and that could help us really draw the eye into this whole mountain structure. We could have, what could we have? The questions. Maybe we could have lava sort of flowing through this thing right here and into this, like that. Yeah, that. If you look right here, it is going in an interesting direction, but we're not there just yet. But we got the general idea now. We know what we're going for, and that's a good thing. Okay, still gonna have to be careful about avoiding those tangents that I talked about. We do not want this, or those tangents. That's not really wrong. Okay. Okay, this is starting to work. It's definitely starting to work. It's coming together really nice. Okay, interesting. This is going somewhere. Sort of worried about the different values though. So what we're going to be doing right now, since I'm not sure about how these values are really working, I'm going to be going click here and click here. Okay, as you can see, it is really working. When I got away from the distraction of the colors, I could see a lot more clear how this was turning out, and it's actually turning out pretty good. I'm gonna have to be pushing those lava, I don't know, lava falls, lava rivers a bit more into the bright side. I'm gonna have to be pushing those mountains into a bit more backwards. I'm gonna have to add something interesting in the background, but I think it's gonna work. Okay, we'll move that layer. And now we're going to do another thing. We're going to click up here. We're going to go into this one and this one. And now we're doing this because we may have made an error with the composition, or we could have made an error with the perspective. And doing this little trick allows us to see what we've been doing wrong. So that's why we're doing this. Okay, let's create another layer. And hang on. Make a little sort of mountain thing right here. Oops, sorry. Thinking about how I'm gonna make it. Could be something interesting right here. I don't know, that could be having some sort of structure back there. Could be cool. But it could sort of take away from our focal point, and we don't want that. Well, we have some sort of maybe castle up here or something. Okay, it is. I'm gonna turn it back around again, see if... I'm thinking if that could work. Potentially it could, but I'm not certain. We're not going to be painting any reds over there, because the thing with reds is that the color red, or the wavelength that the light that we read as color red has, can't travel very far. So if for say that this structure over here, let's say it's red, okay, if I try painting red right there, it's gonna look awfully wrong. Like, just look up here, it's gonna stick out like hell. And like, you can try doing it in any way, it's going to stick out. Even if we do the exact same value and everything, it's gonna stick out. And our brain knows that something that is very close to us can be red, but something that's very far away can't be. And that's why that looks strange, because we know that that is far away and that it cannot possibly be red. That's why it looks wrong. Okay. I think it's gonna work having something something little interesting over here, but we have to add some more things, making it look sort of like all the rocks are, I don't know, lava or something. Okay, like this. As you can see, I'm going a bit more into detail now, and this is because we have the general idea and composition down. If you look up here on this image, I could spend a couple more hours on it, and not a whole lot of things are going to change. For the most part, I'm going to just add the detail, and up here you can't see the detail, so you finish an image within the first maybe 40 minutes. So that's something to keep in mind. when you're trying to draw. I'm gonna take a sip of water right here. Refreshing. Alright, back to the foreground and the lava pits. I think it's lava. I'm not sure. It may depend on the British or American English. Whew. I'm really sure how to take this further. I think I'm going to be doing this. Alright, so this is the lasso tool. I'm going to be using the lasso tool to break, or actually make things look and appear further away. So, okay, now I'm going to hold in shift, and I'm going to do that again. Alright, now we're going to select our brush again, and decrease the hardness, and select the brightest point, or almost the brightest points on our sky, and softly, very softly and gently draw in some of that. Okay, like this. You can see how all of a sudden everything looks a lot further back. We've got more distance. We're going to be doing the same thing right here. Bring everything back just a tad bit. Now, it's very important that we're doing this on a separate layer. If it turns out awful, we can just delete the layer and try again. Or if we want to do some minor tweaks, we can do that without a hassle. Okay. Okay. Starting to work. Starting to look a little bit better. I think I'm going to add a little one over here as well, just to like that. Making it a bit smaller. No, that's too small. Yeah, like that. You can see more detail is starting to appear. And I think I'm going to be doing it back here as well. Just something to, because as you can tell, all of the lines are sort of directing the eye into the center of the image, and that's what we're trying to achieve. Okay. Okay. I think this is starting to look pretty good. Do you think so? Maybe you're just sitting there like, oh god, this guy's terrible. Why am I even here? Maybe not. Hopefully you're learning something. Okay, you can see the difference. There's a pretty drastic difference, but we're gonna have to clean this up a bit, make it look a bit little bit more pretty. What do you think? Just changing the opacity a bit to make it look more correct, or the way I want it. Okay, that works. I'm gonna be adding it in like that. Or actually, maybe we could. No, it's gonna work. And now what we're going to do is we are going to make our brush normal again and clean some of this up, make it look a bit more clean on the edges. We can play around with the values a little bit, add in some more detail. Alright, beginning to turn out real nice. Alright, this works. think I'm gonna bring everything down to one layer again, just to make it easier to change bits. Okay, go in here, click this one, play around with the curves, because that can make an image just get that little bit extra. And I think mine likes a little bit of contrast, so that definitely helps. You can see how it just bumped up the image a little bit. I'm gonna merge those two layers, and we're going to go in here again, click here, and see if we can find some interesting colors that we didn't have before. And trust me, it's easy to overdo this. Just try to be a little bit restrictive of this process. That could, I don't know. Yeah, I think it looks a bit more interesting like that. Okay, back to the details. I think I'm going to be doing a little bit more with this structure thing right here. Okay, so what we could do right now is I'm going to bring in a grid, like, select down here, select the polygon, click once, you'll get this little thing, and just drag it out. Okay, drag it out. Oh shit. Damn. And just find the horizon line in the image. Okay, I think my horizon line is going to be right here. It's pretty low in my picture. Right about there. Ooh, let me just bring it out so it's perfect. Right there. We're going to duplicate that. Actually, does this? No, let's throw that away. Let's duplicate this layer. Actually, when you're moving it, hold in shift. So that way, the horizon line is on the same thing. Okay, we're gonna be using this for the castle at the top of the hill and the one in the background. Just try to match it up so it works right there. Okay, that's going to suffice for our needs. And this could be applied to the rest of the image as well. So what this is really is, this is perspective. Okay, we can merge those two, reduce the opacity a bit, go back to our original layer, actually lock this layer, it's a good thing. Go back to our original layer and start drawing, and just make it follow the lines. You can see how it's following the lines now. This is, trust me, this is a lot easier than doing it by just guessing. You could probably change the brush as well to something square, I think. That could work really nice, yeah. Just down like that, maybe in like this. Maybe some interesting structure like that. Boom. Boom, just laying down design. Okay. Well, we could do something crazy like this. We could change the composition quite a bit. And don't be scared to try things like this late in the process. And if it looks good and improves the image, it's definitely worth it. Okay, so maybe this is a bridge. Let's say this is a bridge. And let's make something a little bit more advanced to pull in some three-dimensional perspective. Or 3-point perspective. Let's make it a bit like this, then over here like that. Suddenly we got a bit more height. Like you can feel how tall this building is, but if we want to do that, we're gonna have to change a little bit of the nature as well to fit the perspective. Okay, I think that's going to be good. And that I did something terrible right there. That is something that has to be done on a new layer. Not necessarily that part of it, but the something like that goes over the whole image definitely needs its own layer. So just do it like that. And like that. And we got a little bridge. And let's turn it around, see if it works. Yeah, that works. Let's add a little bit more detail to it. Maybe it arcs up like this. Right. And maybe it's a bit more thick. Because it's a bridge. Come on, it's not going to be this skinny. Just try making the shapes really well. Follow the perspective and all. Okay, I think we got a more interesting looking image with that bridge. We could add some more things right here. Let's just go crazy a bit. Yeah. And one thing we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to actually remove these right here, because they do not fit in with the rest of the perspective. Okay, but really this really is enough to have a basic landscape down. You can continue if you wish to, but this is really enough. For a beginner, I would say don't go absolutely mental that I'm doing right now. I'm just throwing out ideas. That's in the beginning. Best idea is probably to just try coming out with something simple. The simpler, the better. At least I'd say so. It's unusual for a beginner to be able to pull something like this off right away. So, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna be continuing to draw, and I'll see you at the end of the video. Alright everyone, welcome back to the painting tutorial of a landscape in Photoshop. My god, that was a long sentence. Alright, so this is what I've come up with. This is probably about 2 more hours on the painting. As you can see, I've added detail. I've changed up the whole image really. We used to have a focal point on the left hand side of the image right here. I completely removed that. I felt the composition got just out of hand, didn't look nice. And that's the thing, never be afraid to completely change the image. Never be afraid to remove key parts, because you may end up spending an hour extra because you messed up on the composition during the initial stages of the image. But if the end result looks better, I'd say do it. So don't, if you're not satisfied with the image, do it again, or don't start over from the beginning. Just change the image around, because as you can see here, I still have some of the key components out or left in the image. I have the console in the background, which now is the new focal point in the image. I have the lava pit going on, and the lava falls. I sort of, or lava rivers. I sort of extended them all over the canvas. Yeah, changed around the image a bit. So that's what it's looking like right now. And I'd say don't go this far with your attempts to making the landscape art, because this is something that a lot of work has brought me to being able to do. And I'm just trying to show you what spending the extra time and spending the hours and learning composition, learning perspective, learning color theory, all of these things can get you to a point where you're able to draw things like this.